Leg 1 from Shining Waters Marina on St. Margaret's Bay to Troop Island, about 10 nautical miles. Leg 2 from Troop Island crossing St. Margaret's to Mahone Bay will anchor in Deep Cove, about 20 nautical miles. We've journeyed 30 hours by train across Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and finally here to St. Margaret's Bay, Nova Scotia, where our Niagara 35 Phantasia II has been stored since last fall. It's exciting to see our boat again and to get going on this summer's cruise. We sailed from our home port of Cobourg on Lake Ontario 5 summers ago and have since been to the Gaspe region of Quebec, Iles de Madeleine, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia's eastern shore. We've got a couple of days allotted to get Phanty cleaned up, un-winterized, and back in the water. We then need to get the jib, staysail, and main re-rigged, blocks installed, sheets led, and of course stores brought aboard.
I don't think there's any reason to do the deck, really.
We picked up a rental car in Halifax, 35 kilometers away, when we came in on the train. We'll use it to get from Shining Waters Marina, where the boat is now, 5 kilometers to Upper Tantallon, where the shopping center is. My dad is flying in from his home in Vancouver in a few days and will sail with us for 10 days, so I'll have to figure how to get the 50 kilometers out to the airport too.
Well, it's aptly named Shining Water.
For our first day out, after getting the boat launched and rigged, we're going to sail about 10 nautical miles down St. Margaret's Bay to anchor off of Troop Island. We'll spend a few days there getting the rest of the boat's systems ready before heading out into the Atlantic. From Troop Island, it's about 10 miles down to Peggy's Cove that we passed in the fog last year when we brought the boat around from Halifax.
Mosher's the Cove, Luke and Troop Islands. Can I see your paintings?
Well, that's just the osprey nest up there.
Oh, that's nice. Let's see. Can I see the other one?
The other one's not finished yet.
Oh, I like that though. The clouds. It's gonna be nice.
There's this little island right here.
Troop Island proved to be such a fine spot that an overnight stop turned into a few days, spent swimming and exploring by dinghy on the island and in the surrounding coves. We were kept constantly entertained by a family of osprey eagles, resident in a huge stick nest in a dead tree near the shore. The boat is now fully transformed from in-storage to ocean-going cutter, and with it well organized we set out in light conditions to round the peninsula into Mahone Bay. Once in Mahone Bay, we'll pass near Tancook Island to Deep Cove, enter through a mile-long fjord, to spend an evening at anchor before heading over to the town of Chester. Tancook is a Mi'kmaq word and means facing the open sea, and is one of 365 islands in Mahone Bay. The island is accessible by ferry from Chester and is home to a few hundred permanent residents. It was at one time the leading producer of sauerkraut in Canada. We had intended to visit there and go in search of the remains of an early boatworks where the Tancook schooners were built. But along with exploring the other 364 islands in Mahone Bay, that will have to wait for another year. So we won't go too much further, I guess. And then take the spinnaker down. Ease, please. Deep Cove proved to be a superb and popular anchorage, almost completely protected and occupied by a dozen or so boats at anchor and on moorings. Along the rocky shore of the inlet leading into the cove are some spectacular homes and an interesting assortment of vessels on private docks. Want to pull it a bit?
The history known to the Micmac as Mushamush, one of their favorite camping grounds. The town was founded in 1754.